Apple TVS's Invasion continues its third season journey with Episode 7, delivering another chapter that attempts to reignite the spark that made the alien invasion premise so compelling in the beginning. While the show has undeniably lost some of its initial momentum over the seasons, this particular episode manages to introduce fresh elements that keep viewers engaged, even if the overall pacing still feels sluggish at times. The series has always struggled with balancing character development against the larger alien threat narrative, and Episode 7 exemplifies both the strengths and weaknesses that have come to define this ambitious but sometimes frustrating show. The episode wastes no time throwing our core group of survivors into yet another precarious situation. Trevante, Mitsuki, Anisha, and Jamila find themselves aboard a helicopter heading toward WDC Outpost 17, a military installation positioned dangerously close to what's known as the Dead Zone. This area has become increasingly significant throughout the season as the site where an alien mothership crashed, creating an environment that seems to amplify the extraterrestrial influence on human behavior and technology. The helicopter journey itself becomes a metaphor for the team's descent into uncertainty, as they gradually lose contact with the outside world and find themselves cut off from any potential rescue or support. The communication blackout that occurs during their flight serves as an ominous preview of what awaits them at the outpost. It's not just a technical malfunction, but rather a clear indication that the alien presence near the crashed mothership has created a zone of interference that extends far beyond what anyone initially anticipated. This detail adds layers to the world building that Invasion has been constructing, showing how the alien invasion isn't just about dramatic battles and obvious threats, but also about the subtle ways extraterrestrial technology can disrupt human infrastructure and communication networks. Joel's presence on the helicopter adds an additional layer of tension to an already fraught situation. After his attempted sabotage in Episode 5, where he nearly succeeded in destroying the helicopter and everyone aboard, his survival and current status as a prisoner creates an uncomfortable dynamic within the group. His motivations remain somewhat murky, but his actions have clearly marked him as someone who cannot be trusted, even as circumstances force the team to keep him alive for potential intelligence gathering. This decision reflects the complex moral calculations that survival situations often demand, where practical considerations must sometimes override personal feelings about justice or revenge. When their helicopter inevitably runs out of fuel and crashes near Outpost 17, the team faces the immediate challenge of survival in hostile territory. The crash itself is handled with surprising restraint by the show, avoiding the typical dramatic explosions and injuries that might be expected from such a scenario. Instead, the focus shifts quickly to the more pressing concern of what they'll find at the military installation. This approach reflects Invasion's general preference for psychological tension over action spectacle, though it also contributes to the sense that the show sometimes lacks the kinetic energy that viewers might expect from an alien invasion narrative. The discovery of the Outpost's condition provides one of the episode's most chilling revelations. The military personnel stationed there haven't just been killed by an external alien threat, as the team initially assumes. Instead, they've turned on each other in a frenzy of violence that suggests something far more insidious at work. The scene of carnage they discover tells a story of paranoia, mistrust, and sudden explosive violence among people who should have been working together against a common threat. This discovery forces the survivors to confront the possibility that the alien influence extends beyond direct physical attacks into psychological manipulation. The destroyed communications equipment at the outpost represents more than just damaged machinery. It symbolizes the complete isolation that now defines the team's situation. Without the ability to call for backup or coordinate with other survivor groups, they must rely entirely on their own resources and decision-making abilities. This isolation also heightens the psychological pressure on each team member, as they realize that any mistakes or poor judgments could prove fatal without the safety net of external support or rescue operations. Travante's emergence as the group's leader fills a vacuum that becomes apparent once they realize the scope of their predicament. His military background provides practical experience in tactical situations, while his unique ability to partially communicate with alien entities gives him insights that others lack. However, leadership in this context comes with enormous pressure and responsibility, as every decision could mean the difference between survival and death for the entire group. Nikhil's suggestion that Travante take charge reflects both pragmatic assessment of available skills and the group's desperate need for someone to provide direction in an increasingly chaotic situation. The decision to secure Joel with Anisha and Clark reveals the ongoing trust issues that plague the group. Even in their current desperate circumstances, they cannot afford to ignore the threat that Joel represents based on his previous actions. This dynamic creates an additional burden for the team, as they must allocate resources and attention to guarding a potential saboteur while also dealing with external threats. The arrangement also puts Anisha in a particularly vulnerable position, highlighting how survival situations often force people into roles and responsibilities they never anticipated having to handle. The discovery of the surviving soldier provides a brief moment of hope that quickly transforms into horror. His terrified state and ultimate decision to take his own life rather than face whatever he experienced speaks volumes about the psychological trauma inflicted by the alien presence. This scene serves multiple narrative purposes. It confirms that something deeply disturbing happened at the outpost, provides a potential source of information through his bodycam footage, and demonstrates the extreme psychological toll that exposure to alien influence can exact on human minds. Mitsuki's analysis of the bodycam footage reveals the episode's central mystery, a new type of alien entity that operates through psychological manipulation rather than direct physical confrontation. This creature represents an evolution in the show's portrayal of the alien threat, moving beyond the more conventional invasion tactics shown in earlier episodes towards something that targets the human psyche itself. The alien's ability to broadcast a frequency that triggers violent behavior among humans suggests a sophisticated understanding of human psychology and neurological function, making it potentially more dangerous than purely physical threats. B. The revelation that Mitsuki remains unaffected by the alien frequency due to her neural dampener creates both relief and suspicion within the group. While her immunity provides a crucial advantage in understanding and potentially countering the alien influence, it also makes her an object of mistrust among teammates who cannot be certain whether her apparent immunity is genuine or whether she might be under alien control herself. This suspicion reflects the paranoia that the alien presence seems designed to generate, turning potential allies against each other even when they desperately need to work together. Jamila's discovery of the hidden antenna and the revelation about Carolyn's presence introduce yet another layer of deception and competing agendas. The fact that an Infinitas scout has been operating within the base, maintaining secret communications with Marilyn, demonstrates how the various human factions continue to pursue their own objectives even in the face of an existential alien threat. Carolyn's ultimate sacrifice to destroy the radio equipment ensures that the team remains cut off from outside contact, but it also prevents Infinitas from gaining intelligence about their location and activities. The strategic planning session where Nikhil proposes creating an electromagnetic pulse, while Anisha suggests adding an electronic virus, shows the team attempting to move from reactive survival mode to proactive offensive action. Their plan to attack the alien hive mind represents a significant escalation in their approach to the alien threat, moving beyond mere survival toward actively attempting to damage the extraterrestrial network. However, the technical complexity of their proposed solution also highlights how dependent they've become on theoretical approaches to problems that may require more practical, immediate responses. Marilyn and Infinitus's preparation for an ambush adds external pressure to an already tense situation. Their goal of rescuing Joel, while potentially eliminating Travanti's team, creates a three-way conflict between the survivors, the aliens, and the Infinitas organization. This convergence of multiple threat vectors forces the team to consider not just the immediate alien danger, but also the human political and military forces that continue to operate according to their own agendas, despite the larger existential crisis facing humanity. Goal ceiling. The episode's climax centers on Mitsuki's emotional response to being suspected by her teammates. Her decision to venture alone into the dead zone represents both a moment of personal crisis and a significant plot development. Feeling isolated and betrayed by the very people she's been trying to help, Mitsuki's solo journey into the most dangerous area near the outpost demonstrates her determination to prove her loyalty while also seeking answers about the alien presence that others cannot safely investigate. The new alien creature that Mitsuki encounters in the dead zone presents viewers with perhaps the most visually striking and mysterious extraterrestrial entity shown in the series so far. Its glowing, transparent body and tentacled form suggest a being that exists at least partially outside normal physical constraints, possibly representing a more advanced or evolved form of alien life than the mechanical constructs and biological entities encountered previously. The creature's appearance raises immediate questions about its intentions, capabilities, and relationship to the other alien forces that have been terrorizing humanity throughout the series. The ambiguous nature of Mitsuki's encounter with this new alien creates a cliffhanger that will likely drive viewer engagement with future episodes. The uncertainty about whether the creature represents a potential ally, another threat, or something entirely different reflects the show's ongoing exploration of themes around communication, understanding, and the possibility of coexistence between different forms of intelligent life. This encounter also positions Mitsuki as potentially the most important character for future developments, given her unique ability to interact with alien entities without suffering the psychological damage that affects others. Throughout Episode 7, Invasion continues to grapple with the challenge of maintaining narrative momentum while developing complex character relationships and exploring deeper themes about humanity's response to existential threats. While the show's pacing remains a point of criticism for some viewers, the episode succeeds in advancing multiple plot threads while introducing new elements that could prove crucial for the season's conclusion. The balance between action, character development, and mystery remains imperfect. But the episode demonstrates that the series still has the potential to surprise and engage audiences willing to invest in its slower, burn approach to alien invasion storytelling.